Hi, welcome back to live shopping here at Highlight Crafts. Did you enjoy the hour? I'll tell you what, we'll leave Stephanie on her own for an hour. She calls absolute chaos. Honestly, if you watched that last show, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I've just been in and seen the tablecloth and I'm like, blinking heck. Anyway, welcome to the 10 o'clock show. Now, we've got deals for you this hour. We've got a cracking deal on the Magnetic A3 Lightboard. You're saving more than you're spending. We've got an incredible deal on the hot foil pen. So if any of you haven't got those yet, honestly, that product is blinking brilliant. We've got the wide nibs in stock. We've got foils for you. We've got stencils. We've got stamps, all sorts of goodies, and all at really good prices for you as well, which is exciting. So first of all, let me tell you a little bit about live shopping here at Highlight Crafts. So we're a little craft company based in the Derbyshire, family run. It's about 29 of us, I think, maybe a few less. And every day we come into our little studios, apart from Sunday our day of rest. We come into our little studios and we bring you shows with deals on them and really good prices. And if we can find a product where it's a really good deal, we pass that deal, that saving, on to you. And it's a lovely environment. There's no pressure. But the best thing about it is you can shop while you watch. So having done TV for 20 years, the thing that's annoyed me the most is that we were sending our lovely friends at home away from watching the demo to shop, to find the product, to put it into a basket. It was just too long-winded. So this new live shopping or social shopping, you'll see more and more of this happening, I should imagine, around the world. Right, so first of all, we need to tell you where you can watch us. You can watch us on YouTube. You can also watch us on Facebook, Instagram, and on our website, which is highlightcrafts.com. You can shop with us on Facebook and Instagram, and to do that we're going to show you a product, and that product will have a code, and all you need to do is type shop and then that code into the comments underneath the video. So as you're watching, you can literally be shopping on your device of choice, which is brilliant, isn't it? What that will do then is pop that item into a basket for you. So that's allocated into your basket. Then what happens is you will get a message to your social media inbox. Okay, in that message there will be a message from us saying thank you very much for your order, but there will also be a link. So to check out, you're going to click that link and that will take you to highlightcrafts.com. Then you're going to what do you do then? Then highlightcrafts.com, log in. I say this every day, don't I? Completely went blank. You're going to log into your account, and then you are going to check out those baskets. Now, logging into your account is the most important bit, because if you don't, you won't get your club discount, your loyalty points, and free shipping on a basket spend over £35. Now, the club highlight, is free to join. And the best way to do it is just open an account with us, and then you'll get different tiers of discount depending on the amount of money that you spend with us throughout the year, which is fun, isn't it? So yeah, keep getting lots of goodies, and you'll build up to a higher discount, which is fab. Right, if you want to shop with us on highlightcrafts.com on the website, you can literally go onto highlightcrafts.com, click watch live, the stream will start, and then all the items in that show will appear down the side of your screen. All you need to do is select the ones that you wish to purchase, and they will appear in a little red shopping bag at the top of your screen. So when you're ready to log in and check out, just click on that basket and it will take you through that process. It's clever, isn't it? Now, there's something else that you can do if you're going out for the day, or you're busy, or you're doing all your housework and you can't see some of the shows. It's really easy to shop ahead. So go onto highlightcrafts.com. There's a banner there that says shop today's deals. If you click on that, that opens up every deal from every show, which is fantastic. So you can, if you go to work in the morning, you don't come back till late at night, we also put repeats out for you as well. And we're also live at 6 till 7 in the evenings as well. Also, Saturdays now we've extended our hours from 8 till 11 till 8 till 1. So you're getting 2 extra hours on Saturday mornings. That's always a lot of fun. We end up eating bacon sandwiches well in the middle of the show, and just, yeah, chaos ensues on a Saturday. Kind of does most days, to be fair. Right, shall we start right at the beginning? Okay. In fact, Becky, I'm going to go over to demo so I can show this better. All right, so this is your A3 Lightboard. So it comes with the power cord. You just need to add a USB plug. So you've got centimetres from 0 right the way over to 42, so you can line your work up if you want to, and 0 to 30 down the side. Now this is a complete sealed unit, and what that means is there's no light pollution. So if this unit wasn't sealed, you would get light coming out from underneath. You don't get that at all. It also has 3 different light settings, so depending on the time of day, where you sit in your craft room, whatever where the light is coming into your room, that will dictate this. But first of all, the top tip I would give you is put your power button in the top left hand corner. First of all, the lead's out of your way, and secondly, if you do that, you don't turn it off. It used to drive me crazy. I was like, why does my light bulb keep turning off? Then I realised. So first level of light gives you that, second level gives you that, and your third level is super bright. So for example, if I put a reflection down on there and then took a piece of foil and place the foil over the top. Now these are our classic foils. We'll go through all these products in a minute, but I wanted to show you this first. So you've got your owl there, and then your piece of foil is going to go over the top like that. So you can then see all those detail lines on that reflection through the foil, and you can then use your very fine nib to add accents onto the owl, which is great. Now the other brilliant thing about this is it's magnetic. So we've got magnets on the show for you. You get 2 with it. I would advise buying extras for things like this, and get that foil as flat as possible. So you're going to use your magnets, and then we're going to come back and we're going to foil that. But you can see how you can see right through it. Now then, let me show you some other things. Keep that piece of foil there. Maybe you've got the backgrounds from a little bit of sparkle yesterday. Now, my advice would be, if you're going to print off backgrounds for this, because you're going to matte and layer them onto a card anyway, I would print them on 140. Because if I show you the difference between the light through the 140, in fact, let's turn it off and then you can see. So that's your piece of 140. 1 light, 2 levels, 3 levels. Okay, so you can see really clearly through there now. So if I position that over these flowers here, and I use my magnets, I can see the centres of those flowers quite clearly. Now, if I do that on 250, you can still see through it, but it's not quite as clear. So you can use both, depending on, you know, which you prefer. But I just think 140, first of all, you get more sheets in a packet for 140. And if you're matting and layering anyway, you might as well use a lighter weight paper. So that's that bit. You can also use your stamps. So if you stamp something onto a piece of paper, put another piece over the top, you can then use your foil pen to trace over that stamp, which is really cool, because you could do it with embossing powders, but it's a completely different look and feel. And my favourite way to work with them is with a stencil, because that for me is game changing. And just, Becky, can you just have a look at these lovely samples at the front? Now, I'm going to be really honest with you when I talk to you about that hot foil pen. I didn't like it when it first came out, because the fine nib was quite scratchy when you were doing bigger areas. Then we brought in the wide nibs, and this is now a game changer, because it means that you can get industry standard quality of foiling, but with a foil pen, and it's blinking brilliant. This is one of my favourite products. In fact, probably my 2 favourite products that we've bought here is obviously Scan and Cut, but also this foil pen, because it's just brilliant. And this one is over the top of hybrid acrylic, so you can go over the top of your painting. You can also work on your rice papers as well. Right, so come back down here with me and let's go through these deals, and then we can show you a little bit more as we go through the show. Lewis, if we get any questions, will you just let me know, please? Which is fabulous. Thank you to everyone that's joining me this lovely Thursday morning. I have to think what day it is. That's the first thing when I wake up. I'm like, right, what day is it? Right, so A3 Lightboard magnetic should be $74.99, and do you know what? It's worth every penny. Also, I'll tell you what else I use this for. When my little granddaughter Alice was learning to write, they use a cursive font at school, and she struggled with the handwriting. She's brilliant at maths, but English she properly struggles with. I think she's a little bit dyslexic. And we printed off the font that the school use. I put it on the Lightboard. We put a piece of paper over the top, and she traced those letters. So rather than having the piece of paper at the side with the font on, she put it on the lightboard, piece of paper over the top, and traced it rather than copying it. And that created the muscle memory. And now she has lovely handwriting. If you're learning something like brush lettering and you want to trace rather than copy, your muscle memory will build up quicker because you're not looking over and going, right, I need to go down, then I need to go up and round and come back in. You're literally working over the top, which is brilliant, okay? So A3 Magnetic Lightboard, 10% of this is now allocated and in people's baskets, and we're 10 minutes in. Right, so don't miss out on that because it's brilliant. I'll tell you the other thing as well. You know, when it's dark nights in the winter, I have a lightboard constantly on my desk at home when it's dark. And then I have my hot light or your daylight light over the top. So I'm creating this lovely white light sandwich. And then I turn the big light off, the main light, and it just works brilliantly. It's fabulous. Also, you could use this if you're foiling on your stencils as a lap tray. So work on top of this so you've got the light coming through, but you can, I mean, because it's quite nice to work on an angle as well. Right, so Shop Light is going to get you that for $34.99. You've got a £40 saving, which is crazy. And that £40 would pay for the next product. Right, let me talk to you about this. So in the box, you're going to get your little metal stand. So that just pulls up and your foil pen sits on it. Okay, stops it damaging any tables that you're working on. You're then going to get your pen itself. So if I take this out and show you, you just need to add a USB plug or a power bank, something like that. This is your little on button, so you'll switch it on and the light will turn red. Once it's ready, it will turn to green. It shuts itself off, I'm going to say after about an hour and a half, just as a safety feature. So if you're getting up to that time and you're still working on something, just switch it off, switch it back on again straight away. It will retain that heat, but it will think that it's starting over again with the timer. So you're going to get the pen in it as well. You're then going to get 3 meters of gold and 3 meters of silver foil. So you're getting 6 meters of foil, which is about 18 foot, which is a lot of foil. Then you're also going to get these 2 nibs. Now this is why I didn't like this pen, first of all. They're brilliant, but not for filling in. So the super fine one down there, which is really tiny, that's brilliant for outlining. The bolder one is good for doing slightly wider areas and circles, okay? But my recommendation will be, please add these into your basket. These are shop wide and they're $9.99. This is what made me fall in love with this product. Honestly, Stephanie said to me, "Will you have a look at this foil pen for me?" And I went back in and I went, not sure. She's like, "Why?" I said, "Just because of the nib that's really fine and you've got to do all this cross hatching and then the cross hatching shows up on the foil." She was like, "Okay, but we can try and get some wide nibs." Then the nibs came in and I was like, right, I need to demonstrate this because it's brilliant. And all of those samples that you saw before at the front were all done during shows when we were away using stencils. And it's my mindful thing. So it's my time to sit and go like that and breathe and just focus on what I'm doing, and it's lovely. And it might be that for you as well, which would be fantastic because you could then have this at the side of your bed, do a bit of foiling before you go to bed, put it all to the side, and then wake up in the morning, you can carry on. Right, so you're going to get all of that in your kit. Now, normally this is $39.99. We've brought it down today to $34.99. But here's the thing. So when I'm out and about, I have 2 pens. I have one with the fine one in, which I use for outlining, and I have one with the wide nibs in. Now, I'd never just say, oh, you need 2, because that's just flippant and everybody has a budget. However, today, you need 2. Because you're buying one and you're not paying for a second one. In fact, you're paying £5 less for one than you would normally pay, and you're getting a second one. Now, I genuinely don't know how long this deal is going to stay on for. It depends on stock, I guess. But if you've been sitting there thinking, should I, shouldn't I? This is brilliant. And I know that there were a couple of other companies in the craft industry that wanted this, but we got there first, thank goodness, because it is just fabulous. So shop foil is going to get you 2 of them for £5 less than you would normally pay for one. $34.99 shop foil. Okay, so you're then going to get another 6 meters of foil. So 12 metres of foil, plus your 2 pens and your 2 stands. Please, please, please put shop wide in there. That is an absolute game changer. If you want the wide nibs, it's shop wide, $9.99. You get 2 in there. They're the same, but you know what? It's always worth having a couple of one spare in case you'll use it. Right, 33%, a third of the wide nibs are now allocated. If you've already got a foil pen and you only want to buy one thing today, make sure it's those, and I'll show you the difference when I go over to demo. Right, now then, if you want some foils, we have our classic foils in stock. We're trying to get the big pack of 100 sheets back in for you for next week, but we need to just make sure that we can do that. So we're bringing you the classic foils. All of those samples that you saw that Becky showed you earlier are all done with this pack. There's no other foils added in. So this is one of my favourites. You're getting 3 metres on each, so you're getting 15 metres, which is about 45 foot, which will keep you going for a long time, and you don't need to waste any of it. Okay, so Shop Classic will get you that for $19.99. Now then, extra magnets. So you get 2 with it, but we've got a pack of 24 of them for $9.99 for you today, Shop Magnet. Now, not only are these good for your lightboard, especially if you're not working with a stencil and you want to tape things down and hold them in position, then these are brilliant. But also if you've got a magnetic board at home that you want to put stuff on, maybe it's notes, schedules, diary dates, birthday dates, just what you want to do in your craft room, these will hold that in place. Right, we have a question. I like questions. I do like questions. Right, let's have a look. It is from Anila. Can I use the foil pen, good grief, for faux leather, like to put initials on a purse? Absolutely. Yes, you can. It's brilliant, isn't it? I received my pack of 2 foil pens, so I now have 4 of them. Wow. I can put the 4 different nibs in them. Yes, you can, Terry Kim. Good for you. Love that. Aileen Ross says, got my lightboard and pens, looking forward to seeing how to use it. Love my lightboard, says Charlene, so useful. Thank you for that, because I can stand here till the cows come home telling you how amazing it is, but it really is. Now then, vellum. Okay, so we've got a really good quality. I don't think this is the right vellum. Does it say the 281 on your screen, Lewis? Yeah, this isn't the right vellum, but you get the thick vellum. You know, the one that we use on the scan and cut for embossing, you're going to get that. So you're going to get 6 sheets of 280 GSM. It's not vellum, it's parchment. It's thick and it holds its own, and it also allows you to add water-based products to the back of it without it warping like that, which is fabulous. Also, you can use it with your foil pen. So Shop Vellum will get you 6 sheets for $12.99. Right, we've got some stencils for you next. And stencils are brilliant with the foil pen. So Shop Dream first is going to get you these. So you've got Follow Your Heart. Love that. You've then got Dream Big. And then you've also got Make It Happen. Make it happen. Nothing's happening. Make it happen. Absolutely. Right, so those 3 are Shop Dream, $14.99. We've got Shop Positive. Love positivity. Be happy. You've got Start Every Day with a Smile. That's a great way to start every day. And then the next one is Live in the Moment. That is the best bit of advice you'll ever get. Live in the moment. Right, so that one is Shop Positive. Your first one is Shop Dream, and both of them are $14.99 each. Right, now we have alphabets. Now alphabets are blinking brilliant with this foil pen. So if you're looking at starting your Christmas card soon, I know we're only in June, but Christmas starts in July for crafters, doesn't it? These are going to be brilliant for you. So you've got personalisation, and we were talking about this in a meeting the other day. Personalisation is big now. It's going to be absolutely huge towards the end of this year and next year. It's a proper trend that's coming through the industry. So you're going to get 10 different fonts. These are great. Look at these. Now, if you have a scan and cut, oh no, you can't do it with these because they're not our designs. Forget that bit. I was going to say you could scan them in, but you can't because these are external suppliers. So we wouldn't have the copyright permission for that. But if you've got stencils from us, absolutely. So these are just 10 really cool fonts. Lots of different fonts for different occasions, which is always important. Love that one. Isn't that beautiful? In fact, there isn't a font in here that I wouldn't use. And that's unusual when you get random packs like this. But honestly, there isn't a single one. Love that one. It's quite, I know this sounds strange, but Mexican. Does that make sense? Yeah? Good, I'm glad. And then that's my favourite. Look how lovely that is. So those 10 are going to cost you $29.99. $2.99 for an alphabet stencil. I mean, come on, you can foil through them, paste them and use them as backgrounds, ink through them, paint through them, do all of those amazing techniques that we do as crafters. So that will get shop 1, the word 1, please. We'll get you those for $29.99. Right, now we've got more fonts. That just reminds me of Top of the Pops. It's proper retro, isn't it? So you're getting that one. And then you're also going to get this one. This is really retro. Look at that. It used to be what came up on a calculator, didn't it, when we were at school? I don't think we used calculators when I was at school. I think it was all done in your head. Little building blocks. So again, personalisation. This was one of the first ever die sets that I bought with dies like this with the bubble, the little dot on the end. Now you could foil those letters and then use your rhinestone, your hot fix rhinestone kit. And wherever the little dots are, you could put a rhinestone on. We've then got this one, which is quite comic strip, which I love. We're also going to get this one. This is beautiful. How lovely is that? Isn't that elegant? I love that font. And think about your Christmas cards. But what I love about this is you're getting lots of different fonts. And fonts are really important. So, for example, if you have a new baby, you wouldn't use a Gothic font. You'd use a soft, gentle font that reflects the theme of the project that you're making. You've then got this one. This reminds me a bit of the Grinch for some reason. I think it's just because it's got all the little curls on it. And then you've got this one, which is lovely. Look at that, the tree. Isn't that fantastic? So you're getting all 10 of those, shop, and then the word 2 will get you those. Right, I'm going to jump these next stencils and 50% of the wide nibs. Well done. I'm really glad you're getting those because I'm going to show you in a minute the difference. Right, now we've got some deals for you on some stamps and stencils. So I'm going to whiz through these and then we can sit down and do some demonstrating. So, Shop Love, this is a deal and a half. You're saving £13.05. Today, your code is LOVE. And it's £4.94, which is ridiculous. So you're going to get all of those beautiful stamps. They're a high-grade polymer. You're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stamps. So you've got some that you can create backgrounds with, some single-headed roses, single stem, and then this lovely accent here that could go in a corner or the top and the bottom of a sentiment. So you're getting that one. That is Shop Love. We've got Shop Moment next. Now, these are our lovely Lou Withers Moodling stamps. Now, I'm going to stamp a stamp out and then we're going to trace over it with the foil pen. So we're going to give you a lot of different looks with your stamps, which is brilliant. That one is Shop Moment and it's £6.99. You've got a £3 saving on that one. This one is Shop Mandala. I mean, even if you stamped that and then filled it in with the foil, it would look amazing. And if you're going to stamp it with an embossing powder. Because then, oh no, maybe not, because that will create a ridge and then your foil won't be flat. No, ignore that. Stamp it with a regular, you could stamp it with a regular metallic ink and dry it off and then fill in with your foils. So that one is Shop Mandala, £6.99. This one, they're all £6.99 I'm about to show you, is Shop Divine. So you've got that set there. I love Lou's stamps. I think they're really quirky and really different. Then you've got Shop Decadence. That'll be lovely foiled. Really, really pretty. Then that one is Shop Decadence. Then you've got Shop Lace. This is super pretty as well. So you've got your borders in there. And you can also add your moodling onto this and do moodling with your foil pen. There's nothing to stop you doing that. That one's Shop Lace. We've got this one, which is Shop Sublime. I mean, these are just gorgeous, aren't they? I love them. I think they're really, really, really pretty. So that's Shop Sublime. And then our final set of stamps that we've got for you, Shop Grace. Now, this is from the brand Strawberry Moon. If you love simple, elegant, clean, crisp cards, then this is for you. Look how lovely those stamps are. And you could stamp the words and then go over that with the foil pen if you wanted to. I'm going to show you how to do that. Right, then we've got stencils. Now, my favourite thing to do with my foil pen is stencils because it just works brilliantly. And we've got certain techniques that you use to make sure that everything just stays in place. You're not fighting with the stencil, fighting with the foil, fighting with the paper. Okay, so that one is Shop Merry. You're getting 4 stencils in there, and they are A6, I'm going to say. A6. $8.99. That's crazy. Right, come on, let's go and do some foiling. I don't got anything else, have I? Not yet. Right, okay, we'll come back to that in a minute, or in a little bit. We do have a giveaway code, so I thought, oh, I have to go sit on 3 cushions. I know it's ridiculous, but I have to be able to see over the top. Right, we'll send out one of these to one of you. All right, so let's start by doing a little bit of accent foil on a paper. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. What's the code for what?
Giveaway.
Strawberry. Thanks, Lewis. Honestly, my brain. It needs a rest. And I ain't got time to rest it. Right, so we've got our paper here. Now then, magnets. So I can use the magnets to hold this paper in place. And because I've got lots of them, because I've got the 24, you can go right the way across here as well. So just use the magnets. They're really cool. And I love this. Watch, ready? Wait. I love that. Just grabs it at the end. I know, small things. I know. Right, so we've got my magnets down there now. Now I'm going to take a bit of, let's do gold actually. Now the best way to cut foil is with a pair of serrated scissors. Okay, don't try and cut them with a pair of scissors that have got glue all over them because it's plastic and it'll just want to do that. Like, you know, when you've got a guillotine and it's not sharp enough, it'll want to do that. But with this, we're just going to put this foil over the top. Okay, now I'm going to go in and just pick up another couple of magnets there so that I can hold that foil in place. Are you all right, Lewis? Yeah, we've got a question. Right, let me do this and then we'll have a look at the question. Don't know where to put everything now. Right, so with this one, I'm going to take my fine nib. Okay, now the other thing that I love about this is that I can hold it right down here. It's warm, but it's not hot. That is red hot, so just be careful with these nibs because they are hot, which is exactly what you would expect. So all I'm going to do now is just go around the inside of some of these little flowers. So I'm literally using my fine nib and I'm going round and I'm just adding accents into the middle. Now what you could then do is go in with your bold nib and fill in those circles, and when you're filling in a circle you want to do that crosshatch. Now the wide nibs won't work for the smaller areas obviously because they're wide, but they're perfect for your bigger areas, which we'll come to in a little while. But this is just fabulous. Now we're just going to put that there. We're going to put that one in the middle of there. It's a little bit trickier doing it freehand like this, but you will get used to it. So now you can see, look, I've just got that accent in the middle of those flowers. Isn't that lovely? Let's do these 3 up here as well. So I will outline, I always outline. You'll find your way, okay? So I always outline with the, oh, I need to sit in a different position. Still not high enough up. We just literally highlight the centres of those flowers. Don't forget, when you're at home, you'll be able to adjust your light. I can't adjust the camera lights at all, so it's just kind of, you know, it is what it is. But this is fabulous because look, you can just go through and then you're just going to work up and down and side to side, and that will pop that little bit of foil on that paper. Now as soon as you put foil on anything, it increases in price. So if you do make to sell, you'll find that your magnets are male and female, like that. I mean, look at the difference that makes. If you got the fairies yesterday, these are going to be lovely with a little bit of sparkle on their wings, aren't they? They're absolutely beautiful. If you haven't got yourself a foil pen, please get one. And I very, very rarely say that, but you're missing out if you don't get it because it's really clever. Right, let me find my little owl. Now, I'm going to use a little bit of stencil spray on the back of this die cut to hold the owl in place. So just a little bit. Then we do the weight waft like that, because you can clean this. Now, the other thing that works brilliantly with this is the A3 board, the clear cutting mat. That will go over there and the light will shine through. So if you're bothered about putting spray on the back and then you're thinking, well, will it not stay? Don't want to hold that, does it? Not on that surface. Let's put a little bit on, see if we can get a better stick. If you bother, you can just wipe it clean. I use hand sanitizer to get anything like glue off. I don't even know if this is going to stick to that. Might not be strong enough, but we'll give it a go. Okay, we're all right there. Then I want my silver foil for this. And this is a collection that is coming up soon from Two Red Robins, I believe. It's lovely. Really, really lovely. The samples have started to come in from the design team and we're all oohing and cooing over them because they are lovely. Right, so now you can see quite clearly where those detail lines are. So I'm going to take the fine one and let's just do his face. So I'm going to just hold this in place and it's the lightest of touch. Okay, you don't need to put any pressure on this pen at all. It just works with the heat and it will then just spot foil. And spot foil is a really expensive process. I remember going over to, I used to do some work with the team at Hunky Dory. I used to teach classes for them and stuff like that. And once went into the factory where they were doing all the foiling. It was like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, but for craft, it was fabulous. But it's quite a long process. Whereas now, and we know we can do this with Scan and Cut because we can do it with our glue pen, but you might like to do it freehand as well. So you know what, you do you, as the kids say, innit? You do you, boo. And then we'll just add this detail on, okay? And we're just going to put small detail lines into here, okay? And we'll just work round, we'll just follow those detail lines round. This is definitely my happy place. When, because I stay at Stephanie's in an evening, because I live like 100 odd miles away, so I stay during the week. If I've had a really busy day and I need to switch my head off, this is what I'll do, which sounds crazy, doesn't it? Because we work in the craft industry all day. But actually, just being able to sit quietly in the evening and just do a little bit of this just quietens my mind. And I'm not saying, I'm not a medical specialist, and I'm not saying that will happen for you, but it does for me. And it's colouring in was the thing as well for me, or doodling. But you do have to kind of think about colouring in, where the light and shade is, where, you know, which way's the light coming in, and your mid and your light and your dark. And I don't mind that because I know I'm so used to colouring now, it's just second nature. But this, you don't have to think about it too much. So maybe you've got a project and at night, and your pen will actually go into the little lines. So maybe you've got a project and you just think, you know what, I'm going to add a bit of foil on. You can do that. Right, let's see where we've got to now with this, because I do want to show you those wide nibs. Right, let's turn this off. Look at that. Oh, good grief. Why would you not want that? Right, now then I need to get it off now. Look at that. So there's no residue there, and if there is, look, you can see, oh, there's a little bit there. Just wipe it off, it'll come off like that. Just get a cloth on it and it'll come off. Look how beautiful that looks. So half of it is lovely with all those detail lines on, but look what it looks like with that ultra fine nib. It's fabulous, isn't it? Absolutely fabulous. Right, so we've done your die cuts, and you will use all these little bits up. Okay, so save these because you don't waste anything. Right, I want to show you it with the stencil now, because this is the thing that I love. I love to do, and it's very mindful, I find. Right, let me find my stencils under here somewhere. Here they are. Right, we have a few tips for you when you're doing it with stencils. I find this is the easiest way to use it as well. Right, let's have a look at the question before we do that. The barn owl is gorgeous. Sneaky peeks. I know, it's lovely, isn't it? Game changer, Mel. Thanks. You're very welcome. Right, let's have a look. Where was the question? Have you started it, Lewis? Which tape would you use for a hinge on a stencil, Mel, please? I'm about to do that right now. I use Scotch repositionable, but if you go on to liveshopping.vip and go on to the Crafts 2 store, John Lockwood does one, and it's either bright pink or bright yellow, but that's similar to this product. Okay, so that's what I would use. Right, I need to find one that's got quite an open space as well, of lots of detail. I think we might just do this bauble here. I think that might be a nice one because you've got all different sizes of little apertures in there. Right, so first thing we need is a piece of card, and I like working on black with the foil. You can work on white, you can work on all the different colours, it's entirely up to you, but I find that the black shows up more because anything that you put on black will pull itself back and it will push whatever's on top of it forward. So first things we're going to do is get our stencil into place. So stencil spray on the back. Always work over a bin or outside. You don't want this on your carpet. You'll end up being like a 1980s nightclub. Your feet stuck to the carpet. You haven't had a good night unless you walked out, your feet sticking to the carpet. Right, 75% of the wide nibs are now allocated. 66% of the alphabet 1, so shot 1, and quarter of alphabet 2. I'm really glad you're getting involved in this because it's lovely. Right, I'm going to position that there. Obviously, you'll be more frugal with your card, but it just is what it is right now. Oh, I've got tape here. Okay, so I'm going to take a piece of tape and create a hinge. And I'm going to put that at the top. Okay, and we're going to press that down firmly. And then what I like to do is just run my nail along the edge of that stencil so I know that it creates a perfect hinge. And then make sure that you can lift that up and it doesn't come away, which it doesn't. All right, now there will be, even though you won't see it or feel it, a tiny bit of stencil glue on here, tiny bit. Okay, it's negligible, that's why you don't normally notice it. I'm going to use my silver for this, so I'm going to cut myself a piece of silver foil. Okay, so that's going to go there, and then I'm going to get this down here as flat as I can. Okay, this is the key, so that's going to come over here, and I'm just going to press this down and get this as flat as I can. And this is why I love using it with stencils. So I'm going to flip this back over now, press my stencil down firmly, and then when I lift it, that foil is attached to the stencil. So now if I miss any bits, I can go back in and it's in exactly the right place. So we're going to outline first. So I'm going to go around the outside edge. I'm going to start here and just pull this down. I'm going to go round the outside edge. Again, you don't need any pressure. All you're doing right now, I'm going to miss that bit because I'm going to do the whole thing eventually. We're going to come round here. We're going to go down here and back round. The most difficult bit about doing shows like this is that I have to talk at the same time because my brain wants to go quiet and it can't. Yes, Lewis. Thank you. Let me know that you're all busy. It's all busy. Well done. I'm glad you've got it. Right, now then we're going to outline. So we're going to go inside the stencil. The little circles we're going to go into. Look how fine that nib goes in and it's going to pick up all that detail. Okay, so we're going to go in here. We're going to go down here and round this way. This is so relaxing. Honestly, it's a joy. Absolutely love it. And from somebody that didn't want to take it on air to now telling you that you absolutely need this in your stash is a massive turnaround, and it was those wide nibs that made the difference. Right, we've got another question coming in. I'm just going to outline this and then we'll have a look at that. So you can see this bit is quite quick. Okay, now if you only had one of the pens, what you would do is you would do all your outlining and then you'd let that nib cool down, take it out, put your wide nib in and heat it back up. We do have a deal on just one of the pens at $19.99. Lewis, can you just let me know what the code is for that, love, while I'm just doing this? The single pen at $19.99.
Shop pen.
Oh, there you are, shop pen. That makes sense as well. Shop pen, $19.99. So if you've already got one, but you're thinking, well, I don't need another two, just get the other one, and then we've got that on a deal as well. Right, I'm just going to do these bigger areas here, first of all, because I want to show you the difference with that wide nib compared to with the fine nib or the bold nib. So I'm just going around and filling this in, and you'll take your time at home. You know, you're not going to have a camera in front of you. You can just literally sit there and just play. It's a lovely, lovely thing to do. And if we ever go out to outside, like NEC or Glasgow or Exeter, anywhere like that, And I'll say to Stephanie, what do you want me to demonstrate? And she says the foil pen. I'm like, yes, because it's just wonderful. And you just take your time. And the great thing about it is you can pick it up and put it down and then come back to it. If you just leave that foil attached to the stencil and your card, you can come back to it at any point, which is lovely. So I'm just filling in these areas now, just outlining this, making sure I've got all the little areas outlined. And do you know what? It looks lovely just outlined. That might be something that you want to do. You might just want to outline the detail inside of there, and that's a great thing to do as well. I'll show you in a minute, and then we'll go back in and fill it in when we've done the question. Right, so done. Okay, so you can see it's quite quick, missed a line there. Right, now if I lift that up, you can see there. Now these bits are where the struts go, so that's where, but look how lovely that is. It's super fine. That fine nib is blinking brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Right, now then, let's have a little question here. Too much to do and not enough hands. Right, let's have a look at the question. Did you star it, Lewis?
Yes, near the top.
Near the top. I don't see any stars. Oh yes, I do. Aileen, can you use the square foils that came in different colours, please? No, the square, those that came with the little sheets aren't foil, they're metal leaf. So they don't have an agent on the back that bonds or melts that foil onto your card. So no, you can't do that, I'm afraid, with that. And Daphne says, Mel, can we do this technique too on MDF, please? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely you can. Without a shadow of a doubt. We've also got pyrography coming up next, but not MDF for pyrography. You need raw wood for that. But yes, absolutely it will work on that. Right, now then I want to show you this wide nib. So this is the difference. So let me get this bit, and I'm just going to colour this little bit down here. So if I was doing this with the fine nib, I've got to go backwards and forwards like this, and I bounce off that stencil, okay? So this is why first of all, it takes a long time, and secondly, you have to be meticulous. So just colouring in a small area like that will take a couple of minutes. And when you've got a lot to do, that's not always a good thing. And once you've gone vertically like this, and you really do have to focus on this, because if you miss a bit, you've got to go back in, which is fine. So we do that, and then you have to cross hatch it this way. Okay, so you have to go backwards and forwards. So what you're doing is adding pressure onto that foil with a very fine nib, and it gives you kind of a scratchy finish. You can even see there, can you see how it's made the foil really baggy? So if I lift this up, you can see now you've got a nice finish, but you can see the lines. You can see, can you see that, Becky? Those indentation lines. And also you get almost like a slight crackle to it, because you're never going to get every little bit off there. If I put my hand under there, there's little tiny bits of silver left on there, which is fine, but this is faster. Ready? So this is your wide nibs. So into your pen, again, heat it up. I'm going to do one that's a similar size. We'll do this, in fact, we'll do this big one at the top, and then I'll do one that's closer together. Look at the difference. 1, 2, and you can bounce off it again. So you're going to use that wide nib, and you're going to allow that to melt that foil onto there, and you'll feel it once the foils come off. If you imagine, you know, when you get chocolates and they're wrapped in foil and then they're wrapped in cellophane, and you take the foil off and the cellophane goes a little bit loose, that's what it feels like. Okay, so now I can do this, and I can bounce off this stencil. I can use it any which way. I've got a little bit there that I've missed. If you've missed it because the foil is stuck to the back of the stencil now, you can literally lift it up, and then you've got this really nice smooth finish. Now there's a tiny little bit just there. That tiny little bit just there is still on that foil. So as I flip that back over, it's in exactly the right place. That's why this is another use for your stencil glue. But if you look at the difference in, if I lift that up and you can see it, can you see how smooth that foil is? And then you look at that one and you can actually see the texture of the nib. That's the difference that those wide nibs make. And definitely, definitely your stencil spray on the back. So on the back of your stencil and then on your foil. In fact, let me show you again how to set this up. So you're going to take your stencil and lay it down on your black card. You're going to use your repositionable tape at the top. You're then going to flip that back, put your foil onto here, flip it over, pick the foil up with the stencil, and then you start to colour. And it's absolutely, honestly, I go into my own little world. Even when we've done like 14-hour days and we go back to the house and we're all shattered, for me, this is my wind down. Because you shouldn't be on a screen just before you go to sleep. It's not good. Your brain doesn't switch off. Doing something like this is fabulous. And even in the smaller areas, using that wider nib speeds up that process, which is just brilliant. So we've got that. And you can see you're just going to go round and round and round and fill in all these little areas. And normally I would work really methodically. So we've got a giveaway for you. I'm going to give away one of the foiled pictures that are at the front, and your giveaway code is strawberry. So type in strawberry. That's because we were talking about strawberries this morning for David's hay fever. Apparently, Becky, did you know that strawberries are a natural antihistamine?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Isn't nature clever? Interesting, isn't it? Right, so we're going to just, and even when you get to the tiny areas like that, go up on the tip, like a ballerina on point. Yeah, I only did that a few times and then I gave up ballet because I hated it. I didn't hate ballet, I hated the point shoes. So we've got all of this right on the tips like that, and it will still go in and fill in those smaller areas and give you that fabulous, missed a bit there, go back in. This is why I love it. Look how cool that is. Just go back in and then you start to fill in all your little stray bits like this. You can either take a little piece of tape, press it down and lift it off, or you can use an adhesive eraser if you've got one of those. That's a good tool to have as well, an adhesive eraser. And then you can see now how you can start to build that up. Right, I'm just going to grab one of the alphabets, I think, off the counter. And oh no, I wanted to show you stamping actually, because that's cool. Right, so that's that bit, stamping with your Lightboard. Now, I'm going to work on copier paper for this. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's easier to see through a thinner paper. Now, you could do it with 140, but my thought is, why don't we use just a thin paper, because copier paper is much cheaper than using a heavyweight cardstock, and then you can spray mount it onto a piece of card, right? Because if you waste a piece of copier paper, you're less bothered than if you waste a piece of expensive card, aren't you? So the way I do this is this way. So stamp with the image facing up onto my Lightboard. I'm using a VersaFine Clear Black. So you want the ink to be the darkest colour it can be so that you can see it clearly, like that. Lots of light tapping, lid back on. Then I'm going to take my piece of paper and I'm just going to put my hand on top and press down. Okay, lift up my finger and then just literally press that image onto that piece of copier paper. So if you've ever got a really big stamp and you haven't got a block that's big enough, put the stamp onto your Lightboard and you'll get a perfect impression every time. And the only reason that that works is because your pressure is directly on top of that piece of paper. It's not through an acrylic block. It's clever, isn't it? I love it. Right, so I've got that on there. I'm going to tape that in place, and then I want another piece of a thinner paper here. So we're going to tape this in place first of all. Still got my tape down there. I'm going to use the tape. And give yourself a decent amount of tape. Honestly, every time we do a festival, we get all you guys in here and you're all like, oh no, I can't use that much tape. I'm like, it's my tape, use the tape. Especially when you're taping things down like this, or you're taping down dies, you definitely want to be able to see to tape that down. Right, so I've got my two hinges there. Now you can see it quite faintly through there, but you can't see it when I put the foil over the top. So that's where your Lightboard comes in. So all those stamps that you've got now that have gone into a cupboard, never seen the light of day for years, if you're anything like me, I know it's really bad, I need to properly clear out. You can't see through that at all, so I'm going to tape that in place as well. Let's get everything taped down. You could use your magnets if you wanted to, but you can also use your tape. I love those magnets for like a magnetic board, a reminder board at work or at home. And then we're going to switch it on. So the first level doesn't give you enough light for this. Second one gives you, yeah, not bad, but look at the third one. How fabulous is that? So now we can take our fine nib again, our detailing nib, and hook my wires, and then you've got to be able to, I can see through it. I've just got to get my head over the top of it so I can actually see what we're doing. And all you're going to do is trace over the top of those leaves. So now you can take your design, your stamp design, and if you wanted, you could make this into a whole wreath. You could add extra pieces in. You can change the shape of the leaves slightly if that's what you want to do. And you're just following, you're tracing. You're just tracing. When we were at school, and I'm sure it was the same for a lot of you guys, when we were at school, you used to, if you were tracing anything, you used to have to draw it out, turn it over, scribble on the back with a graphite pencil, then turn it over and use that graphite to trace it back on. I know, how things have changed, hey? How things have changed. And then we've got all of our leaves just coming through on that stamp, which is super, super, super fun. So how long have I got? 3 minutes. That's not long enough, is it? I need more time than that. Now, if I pull this up now, I can show you. This is the difference that having that light board makes. Look how fine that detail line is. So now you can go over your stamps as well, which is fantastic. Now I'm just going to come back to this bauble because I want to show you something else that you can do with this before we run out of time. So let's get our stencil back in situ here because I want to show you how you do the detail lines in it because it's super cool. When you're taking your foil off the back, just whip it off, okay? Don't do it slowly, just take it off. I'm going to pop that back over there and I can see exactly where it goes. I'm going to pop this back in here. I'm going to cut a piece of gold foil quickly. Where's my gold gone? Here. We use the rest of this. And all you're going to do is lift this up, position that down again, get it into the place where you want it to be. And then take that really fine nib and you do like a tick. So remember when you used to tick your friend's work and it was a line, pressure down, lift up like that. You don't do that, because you won't get the same result. And if you start at the bottom and just flick up, this is like adding in light and shade, depth and dimension into your projects. So if I was you sitting at home today with the £40 saving, I would be treating myself to that light board. And I would also, if you haven't got any of the foil pens at all, get a foil pen. And if you've got the foil pen but not the wide nibs, get the wide nibs because they really are a game changer. And if I just lift this up now and show you, look how you've got that double colour in there. Isn't that fabulous? I love doing that bit. It brings it to life. You know when you've got an alcohol marker and you're doing something that's curved and you start dark and then you go mid and then you go light, it's like doing that. And if I just show you some of these samples in detail, you'll see where I've done this. I think this is my favourite one. In fact, I'll tell you what, we'll send this one out because this is my favourite and you can mat and layer it and put it on a card if you want to. But look how lovely that foil has just laid down with those wide nibs. And then your super fine nib adds all, it almost looks like it's been etched, doesn't it, with metal. But there are no areas there that look scratchy unless they're meant to with your little flick technique. But that silver is absolutely immaculate. And for that price, so normally $39.99 each, we've knocked £5 off the price and we'll be giving you a buy one get one free. So you're going to get 2 of the foil pens for $34.99, which is crazy. Right, don't miss out on the Lightboard either, because that's got a £40 saving on it. It's a brilliant product. Even if you just use it as a light, if you're taking photographs, etc., it's going to be brilliant for you, so don't miss out on that. Right, next up, I'm going through that wall again, I know. Me and David are up with the pyrography show. So that's going to be really good as well. So David's going to teach you all about pyrography. And then at 12 o'clock, I'm with David again. We're doing airbrush. And then at 1 o'clock, Stephanie is back with glass and ceramic painting. So make sure that you stay with us. Thank you very much for your company this hour. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've got to draw a winner. Go on then, Lewis. Draw a winner. I'll be sending this out to you. Winner is?
Christine Schwartz.
Christine Schwartz. Well done, Christine. I'll make sure that that gets put into the post for you. You will get a message from us. So if you can just send us your details, you'll open that message, it'll tell you everything that we need. Right, moth through the wall. See you in 5. Bye.